Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joining you, Mr. Jude, from the LTV studio. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Looks like we're about to start kickoff pretty soon here. You are watching the ILS Varsity Girls Soccer square off against Gulliver Prep. Let's see how your Royal Lions do today. Just looking at the Florida State rankings, and I can say that we are ranked slightly above Gulliver Prep on the state rankings. These girls are, however, in different divisions. Your Royals in green facing off against Gulliver Prep in white. You're going to see a lot of action in the midfield today. There's a lot of juniors and seniors playing in that region of the field today. Of course, always watch out for the strong offense by the forwards. Our own number 13, Miss Hannah Gonzalez, has been leading the year in goals. I believe she has about 6 in total. In fact, led the team with a hat trick in our own very humble park. Ooh, and a dangerous steal by Gulliver Prep. They are attacking the net, but saved by the goalie. Forgive me if it's a little quiet here in the studio. I am going to be your only caster for today. Don't worry, I certainly enjoy being with you here, but it is a little difficult to hold up a conversation and give you the play-by-play. So I'll do my best, but forgive the occasional silence. And we have an impressive attack with a shot slightly off goal, but a noteworthy attack on the goal post. So it appears we are going to be taking this to a corner. Let's see how ILS is doing on the set piece. And it appears that she did not quite get it to where she wanted. Ran into some traffic on the way to her player, and oh my goodness, there's a counterattack coming from Gulliver Prep. And it appears that it was put to a stop by your back fielders. So the ball is being tossed to one of the Gulliver players, but then managed to be stolen by ILS. The ball, however, remains on ILS's side of the field, so this remains a very dangerous possession. Ooh, and safely secured by one of the center backs and kicked away by a midfielder. Yeah, just trying to get the ball away from their side of the field. It was they did seem a little hard pressed on that attack. So Nicole Nielsen, number 6, Alicia Olivi, and Olivia Mendez, number 8. Those are a few numbers that you want to keep your eyes on as they square away the defense on ILS's side of the field. The midfielders doing a good job of keeping the ball moving downfield, but it appears it will go out of play and lead to a Gulliver throw-in. Gulliver Prep, number 5, throwing it in. And almost immediately stolen. This could be, unfortunately, was not meant to be a decisive turnover. Oh, but this might. We have a steal from the midfield in dangerous territory, and Gulliver instead steals it back and drives up to the ILS midfield. Oh boy, ball moving around the wing, but taken aback by the defender. Excellent. Again, some solid defense today. It's tough being on the back foot, but I will say that it is been some there have been some confident decision making by your Royals on defense today. And the goalkeeper securing a safe distance from the ball, leading to a Gulliver possession. Number 10 attacking. Number 10 of your Royals trying to attack for that ball, and it appears that number 18 managed to push away that possession. Okay, the ball is now on Gulliver's side of the field. Steal would give a lot of potential for. Oh, and it's yes. Okay, so a steal did in fact happen, but it has been drawn back to the ILS side of the field, and due to the pressure, number 8 it appears has decided to kick the ball out of play to give her team some time to reset. Ball thrown in by Gulliver Prep. The back's trying to clear, but unfortunately the ball is on the foot of a forward and kicked away to the midfield. Ball remaining roughly in midfield, and a very good infiltration of the passing lane by one of your Royals to prevent some dangerous crosses happening over there. We have some physical action in the midfield, but ILS does take away with an excellent run by the forward, and it appears she's taking it to the net. No, unfortunately not. A shot on goal, but blocked by the Gulliver Prep goalkeeper. Good takeaway by the defensive backs, clearing the ball out of play just to give some time to reset, relieve the pressure. So we know you're here for expert analysis. I will say that, when you do steal possession, there's always an opportunity by hanging onto the ball to set up a counterattack, especially when the midfielders are overextended. But of course, putting the ball out of play is an option to relieve the pressure on your teammates, allowing your own team to reset, especially if they aren't prepared for the counterattack. So Gulliver maintaining very dangerous possession here on the ILS side of the field. Appears one of the midfielders dropped back and managed to intercept that ball. And center backs just trying to maintain possession, find an opening to move it upfield. So Gulliver seemed to be crowding the passing lanes, making it very difficult to move the ball to the opposite side of the field. Excellent throw-ins by the Royal Lions today. Really showing that sometimes you do have to use your hands in soccer. So again, some really pulse-pounding action here in the midfield. Just trying to take possession, maintain possession, find a way to move the ball to the forwards. Yes, some physical play seems to have led to a free kick. Excellent kick by one of the backs, I believe, giving a good chance off the set piece, but no, it appears that it will go out of play. Out of play, however, on the Gulliver side of the field, so let's see. And my goodness, it seems that the ball nearly escaped from this angle. Nearly escaped the backfield, but it appears that your defenders are still on top of their game. I do feel for them, though. It must be rather tiring between the midfield and defensive backs to keep on fighting off possession, fighting off a rather dangerous possession by Gulliver Academy. Oh my goodness, 25 not able to receive it. Number 8, however, managing to clear. No, the ball does seem to be remaining in the middle. Okay, number 8 driving upfield, trying to get the ball away from her frustrated teammates. And again, excellent kick by, I believe, let me double check that. Number 18, probably Miss Kaya, Isabella Kaya, if I had to guess. Okay, again, not quite a shot on goal, but if the ball's anywhere near the goalkeeper, that is, of course, a good sign. And it appears this wing of the defense has really been pressured this afternoon. Shot off goal, thankfully, and it appears it will lead to a kick by the keeper. Yes, it is ILS ball. So I hope you all are enjoying the NPR voice. This is the less talkative, more monologue sort of voice that many of my math students are very familiar with. And an attack stifled by the Gulliver left back. And appears one of their midfielders is finding an opening in the midfield, but stolen away by ILS. Very good. And Gulliver just desperate to hang on to possession. They have held possession for a large part of this game, and that does allow them to control the flow, the pace of the ball on the field. But I will say that shots on goal will be the only thing that will get points on the scorecard. Okay. The backs managed to clear that high ball away to the midfield. ILS just maintaining possession, although there is a bit of pressure. Excellent pass to one of her teammates. Oh no. Stolen away by the keeper. She did seem to read that situation rather well. Intercepting that pass, one of the ILS forwards. And they maintain possession in the dangerous, in a spot that could lead to an attack. Ooh, but instead Gulliver managed to snatch it away. Gulliver again maintaining possession, but I believe there is an offsides called on the play. Okay, so passing in. Moving the ball around, they do need to be careful, of course. This is a very delicate situation, having the ball and having a ball swarmed by by the opposing team is not ideal when trying to maintain possession. And a pass far to the midfield ends up past her teammate, unfortunately. ILS chasing the ball. The keeper has managed to had the ball stolen. She makes an excellent kick. Goal, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent work by It appears number 2. Number 2, that is Miss Diana Prieto. Excellent work, Miss Prieto. That young lady has just put us on the board. So let's keep it going, Royals. That just goes to show, even if you don't have possession, the pace is not always going to be in your favor. As soon as that ball was turned, as soon as Miss Prieto read that play, she knew that there was an opportunity for a steal and a well-executed goal. She was a one-man show, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent steal, but possession over the ball seems to be passing back and forth. Back in the hands of the right back. And the goalkeeper, ooh, in close contact with the Gulliver forward. There we go. So the ball managed to be cleared to the midfield, relieving some of the pressure. And the keeper appears to be keeping it in play. She is going to look for a player to toss it to. That is number 1, Miss Ashley Fonseca. Kicked the ball away to midfield and unfortunately ends up in the hands of a Gulliver midfielder. ILS there trying to make a counter-attack. They will be throwing in the ball on the Gulliver side of midfield. Ooh, misread by Gulliver's defenders. It appears that there's a good run at the ball happening on the right wing of the field. And stolen away by the keeper. That shot may not have been on goal, but still unfortunate to see such a strong offense go unrewarded. I must say this, again, has been some intense play around midfield. The occasional breakaway by ILS has already led to 1 goal, but Gulliver cannot say the same. If they continue to put on this pressure, it seems that they may just be tire themselves out. Saved by the keeper. Kicking the ball away to one of her midfielders. And ILS now throwing in the ball. You may have seen our very own Coach Bono there, head coaching today, along with Coach Ariana. She would be the assistant coach. Excellent work in the midfield. Gulliver is nowhere near that ball, and yet they are preparing for an attack, it appears. Gulliver defenders swarming, but not able to quite take it away. As the ball changes possession a few times here. Oh my goodness, an opportunity for a counterattack. Ooh, but it seems that your defenders have a good lid on this. I don't know, some dangerous play happening on the ILS's side of the field. Some physical play by one of our lines was not able to maintain the ball. Okay, and cleared by one of the midfielders, brought back to defend. Okay, so we have another dangerous throw-in that manages to reach the feet of one of the members of Gulliver Prep. And they are pressuring for an attack on goal, but they do not manage to get one. And it appears there has been a foul, which will lead to a free kick. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is an excellent opportunity for us to go to commercial as we get to our first water break. All right, so I'm back. Sorry if there was any confusion there. We are trying to work out a break for our sponsors. In the meantime, how are you doing? A belated Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad. Never to be caught unawares, I will go ahead and introduce. I'm going to introduce the coaching staff, which, according to my sources, is one coach, Chichi Nawadike. Not sure if that's exactly correct, but obviously pronunciation errors are par for the course here in the amateur hour that is my hosting slot. What else can we say about Gulliver Prep? They probably have a mascot. And that mascot would be something. The Raiders. There we go. So the Gulliver Prep Raiders have not been having a strong season. They have quite a few losses under their belt, but I don't believe they've had any games within their district, which means that they're currently tied for first in their district. I mean, that's better than having no wins, no losses. I guess would do that. Mass Academy, by the way, another team in that district. Your Royal Lions, of course, not having a ranking in their not having a place in the standings of their district either, not having played any district games yet. Okay, ILS looking for a counterattack. Midfielders finally maintaining the ball on the Gulliver side of the field for a short while there. And forgive me for giving them short shrift. I will say that they have done an excellent job despite the inordinate amounts of pressure they've been facing. Inordinate, by the way, means not I don't know. I don't have a dictionary in front of me. Inordinate basically means unsustainable, right? Something something that's too much to handle, I guess you could say. Okay, so some of the midfielders have moved back to help out the defensive backs, and they have managed to push away this latest offensive by the Gulliver Prep Raiders. You might say that they were telling them not to raid our shores. Yes, I'm sure they have more than enough maritime puns. Meanwhile, we are the lions who, for some reason, live next to the ocean. Okay, so that may have been a handball. And it in fact is, leading to a free kick. trying to fake out, play mind games with the Raiders. Your Royal Lions pressuring on the opponent's side of the midfield, but cleared away by one of their backs. My goodness. Trying to maintain the ball as it moves dangerously close and into the penalty box, but out of play, most likely leading to a keeper kick. Another shout out to Miss Fonseca, freshman gracing the field today. Unless it's Ariana Paredes, in which case she's number 0. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if I've done a disservice to either of our keepers by misnaming them today. Excellent breakaway by the... Ooh, a shot slightly off goal, but an excellent breakaway by the right wing, by the right forward. So the Raiders goalie will be kicking away the ball today. Not today, right now. You won't have to wait, you get to watch it right now. Raiders, again, doing a noteworthy job of moving the ball to the ILS's side of the field, but of course, they appear to be taken off guard whenever we go on the offense. So, they will surely have to do better than just maintaining pressure and placing possession in dangerous sides, in dangerous corners of the field. And again, proving that their pressure can certainly put the Raiders in a corner. Your Royal Lions trying to square something away, but not managing to get the ball to the player she wanted, it appears. Ball remaining in midfield. Ooh, and a dangerous play cleared away by one of the center backs. Okay. Charging to the opponent's side of the field, one of your forwards, and one of our Royal Lions, looking for a cross to one of her teammates, it appears. But instead the ball has been struck away by one of the Raiders. This will, however, lead to, I believe, the second... No, well, you have to count the free kicks, but the second corner kick of the night. Never underestimate your Royal Lions on the set piece. We do appear to have a few tall glasses of water. That just means that they're tall. We appear to have a few tall players on our team, which could lead to some helpful plays on the set piece. Taking in the ball, I believe, is number 10. Finds one of her teammates in front of the... Finds one of her teammates in front of the goal, but enough defenders were there to keep the ball away from her foot. The ball will now be thrown in. Good close-up of number 8, Miss Olivia Mendez, and 25, Nabila Osman. Okay, so it appears this offensive will be put on short notice as the backs are passing it back to the goalie, trying to keep the Gulliver forwards away from the ball. Ooh, and a kick to midfield intercepted. Oh my goodness, and this might be a rather dangerous free kick near the ILS goal. No, a throw-in. Good. Yes, the ball was ruled out of play, it appears. Still, that did manage to find one of the Raiders. And a not so dangerous kick was intercepted by the goalie. Far off goal. We have about 12 minutes remaining in this half. Not of course not including stoppage time. And a dangerous attack by one of the forwards, stymied by a midfielder who had dropped back to get that ball. Ball kicked out of play to be thrown in by the Royal Lions. Okay, number 8 finds number 2. Number 2, by the way, that would be Miss Prieto. And a counter-attack by Gulliver Prep off that turnover. Thankfully does not lead to a dangerous attack, but instead is taken out of play and will be thrown in by the Royal Lions. Alright, so thrown in play, but almost immediately taken away by Gulliver Prep. Unfortunate, but of course midfielders and backs dropping were there to prevent any dangerous outcomes. Some aggressive play by the forwards. Once the ball gets to Gulliver's side of the field, I will say that they have been making some ferocious attacks, living up to the name of a Royal Lion, I say. Alright, some ball movement in midfield. Finds a lane to pass to the center. Of course, they are rather far away from the goal, so unfortunately not able to come away with a plan of attack they could execute. Okay, so a pass in, unfortunately intercepted by Gulliver Prep. That ball is going in the wrong direction, I will say. I'd say that's all ball, ladies and gentlemen, and in fact it was. Or at least enough so that the keeper let the game keep going. These are, of course, our Royal Lions. Wouldn't expect anything but aggressive play from them. Of course, we do want to keep things nice and clean, and no calls will be making this game rather dangerous for these young ladies. But again, I think that was a lot of daylight between the two players there. So the Gulliver Raiders are passing in the ball, but the ladies are quite a ways away from ILS's side of the field. They make some healthy passes, I will give that to the Raiders, but those passes have not been able to pierce the veil. Ooh, and another head just off goal, taking away the threat and quite honestly the pressure from that attack. Okay, so our keeper is kicking in the ball. Once again, give it up for the freshman, Miss Fonseca, number 1. I'd give more shout-outs to her teammates, but unfortunately it is occasionally difficult to read the player numbers from my vantage in the studio. I say occasionally because, of course, we could always do better. Ooh. Speaking of doing better, uh, I think that ball should not have made it across in front of the goal, but you know, they keep rolling, manage to kick the ball to midfield, and the backs maintaining possession. The Royal Lion backs maintaining possession once again. Okay, so moving to the Raiders side of the field. There are a few forwards challenging, and ooh, a shot on goal blocked by the goalkeeper. I can hear the Raiders sweating from here, and I'm on the other side of campus. Yeah, it may just be the nerves, but they appear to be out of breath. Okay, so kicked rather far, but kicked rather far, and in order to give her teammates some time to reset, the center back, the Lion center back kicks it off field. Okay, passed in by Gulliver Prep. While it is on the Lion side of the field, I will again say this has been par for the course today, and has not led to a shot on goal, though a few dangerous crosses of note have been can be mentioned. Gulliver Prep throws in, manages to find one of her players. Nearly taken out of play. And let's see what this call is. Yes, a free kick. Yeah. So it appears the Raiders may have an opportunity on this set piece. Oh, goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if the height of your Royal Lions can stand the test. That shot was off the crossbar. That was some, again, pulse pounding stuff. But the ball was eventually kicked out of play, so the keeper kicks away. We're approaching the last few minutes of the half. My goodness, this pressure does not relent. Does not stop, rather. Okay, so that last set piece, rather terrifying, and let's see if this one is more so. Obviously, the positioning of that free kick, as you saw from the camera angle, was rather, was perhaps the most threatening, was perhaps what led to the threatening shot on goal. But this is cleared away by one of the forwards who dropped back and managed to get it to one of her teammates, number 13, I believe. Okay, so a little back and forth here. However, the ball is on the ILS Royal side of the field. Maintaining possession here are the Royal Lions, but they cannot seem to get the ball away to teammates in the midfield. Oh, I'm sorry, to teammates, to the forwards in midfield. And an opportunity for an attack stymied by Okay, no call there. I think that was rather good. Uh, and an attack that leads to a shot slightly off goal. I feel for that young woman. That is a gut punch to have that opportunity taken away. But she was rather forcefully covered, I will say. So that was no fault of her own, or at least not where I stand viewing this game. Okay, so number 14, trying to get it to number 25, who did have an open look, but of course, Raiders in the passing lanes made that opportunity rather difficult to capitalize on. Okay, Raiders trying to charge away, but they lose possession of the ball and hand it over to the expertly trained center back. Some back and forth in midfield. And it appears that possession may be turned over due to a foul. Yes, it'll be an ILS free kick. With about a minute left in stoppage time, we'll see how far this goes. Charging across field, sprinting. No. Stolen away by the Raiders. Off the back of the head of a Royal Lion. That ball is kept in Gulliver's side of the field. And the Raiders trying for a counterattack. Oh my goodness, this is... So about 40 seconds remaining with stoppage time. Another shot, not quite on goal. So total shots on goal today, I believe, is just one for the Raiders. But, they manage a few dangerous crosses, and when those crosses are right across your goalpost, it's frightening stuff. Just could not find their teammates on that pass, it seems. Okay, so the keeper kicking it away. Manages to get the ball to midfield. Alright, and that is time for the first half of this game. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be sending you over to our sponsors pretty soon here, but I'd say that your and there's angle where you can see all of today's referees. Shout out to the line judges, in addition to the referees, of course. So the picture is out, but I'm still with you, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Again, we're just trying to find a way to send you off to our sponsors. This is going to be a rather long halftime. Some analysis I can give you is, of course, that Miss Prieto made a good read on that possession that the Raiders were trying to steal away. What else can I say? I can say that I can give a shout out to our seniors, Miss Sabrina Souza, and like I said, trying to send you away to our sponsors here. We'll let you know when that happens. But who else? Who are our other seniors? Number 20, Miss Andrea Olivi. She's playing in the backfield. Okay, and we can now send you away to a sponsor. Let's get rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
PI Miami is a division of Giordano Protection Services located right here in the heart of Wynwood. They are a world-renowned private investigation agency that has worked with defense teams all over the U.S., and they can provide you with infinite insights, even in the most complex of cases. Let's go and see why they're the best in the biz.
Here at PI Miami, we use former law enforcement personnel, ranging from narcs to homicide investigators, SWAT, and we even have a psychic detective on hand. This means we know how things work from the inside out. We have complete understanding and knowledge of expert testimony. We coach witnesses on how to testify. We specialize in cases involving capital punishment. We go into every case as if all our clients are guilty until we can come out and prove their innocence. We take the hardest of evidence and we crush it in front of the prosecution, creating ulterior motives, alternate suspects that may have done the crime. This is what we do, create doubt in the jury's mind.
Sometimes standard procedure just isn't enough. PI Miami is a leader in creating the most complex and innovative undercover surveillance.
Miami, because of its climate, we have cultures from all over the world. A lot of times we're retained for ritualistic crime investigation or surveillances into a boyfriend or a girlfriend, which leads us to this cemetery here. The skull, the dirt, the chicken feathers in the bag, the coconut, this was used for rituals of Santeria. Because of our uniqueness and our experience in investigations and undercover work, we've been able to put surveillance cameras during some of these rituals and actually obtain criminal confessions as they try to cleanse their soul in appeasing their orishas.
With years of department regulations and political red tape, their hands have been tied. Up until now, PI Miami's chain of command is now directly with you. But keep your eyes open because they might be watching.
When I first started in '83, none of these buildings were here. The skyline was pretty low and flat. In the last 30 years, it's been an unbelievable growth. From the art museum behind us to Science Museum, 900 Biscayne, which is the next project that we're going to be changing all the air conditioning out on the roof with a large helicopter. Over there to the Marriott across the street, and the cooling towers we changed on there with one of the largest cranes in South Florida. We have heat exchangers that tie into the saltwater life safety system that regulate the temperature in all of these tanks. We treat our people with respect. We treat our people well. Our benefits are good. We treat them like a family, but we do have a certain amount of rigidity and structure in our company that I think the people like. But for the most part, it's a family-run business, and hopefully it'll stay that way forever.
Let me know what you guys would like to see, and we'll get a little deeper into that as well. So here we go. So I just walked into Plantation Boat Mart, the Blackwater facility now. I have touched down at Pirates Cove Marina here at Deep Impact. Show you a little bit about what makes this company different. How these boats perform offshore. Not a day that you normally want to go out on. See how the boat handles. Very aerodynamic, actually pushes the boat downwards at high speed. From Miami to Tampa, and we'll show you the whole process from A to Z. We're gonna run this boat around the Miami area here as we normally do. Get through a quick tour of the features that I see, as it's a 2010 triple 350 Mercuries. Well, there you have it, our sea trial on the 288 Sea Fox Commander, taking us on another tour for Sea Hunt Flagship 43 right here behind me. I'm looking forward to jumping on this boat, doing a quick sea trial and showing you what those differences are.
For our sponsors. I was actually talking to Mr. Mendez in our studio, and you were in fact watching, and we, as well as our sponsors, appreciate it. They really do help us keep the lights on in here. So you have your Royal Lions approaching the field, trying to not shake out the cobwebs, but I will say trying to get back in the zone. So they are, as they are getting ready to go, you will notice they are changing sides. We'll have about 20-25 minutes remaining in this half. We will of course tack on stoppage times. Okay, and a shout out to your forwards, numbers 25, number 13, Hannah Gonzalez, Nabila Osman, and it appears that the Royal Lions will be taking the touch. And here we go, we're back in action, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see the midfielders already dropping forward from the Raider side of the field. They really want to keep the ball where they had it last half, which would be in the Royal side of the midfield. I imagine that. Okay. So I imagine that the coaching staff would appreciate to have the ball on the opposite side of the field. We're gonna have about 40 minutes, and I'm sorry, by the way, about 40 minutes in this half. So again, the ball on the side of the field that I imagine the Royals defense would prefer, which is the Gulliver side of the midfield. Trying to execute a pass to number 25, but does not manage to get it away on, but does not manage to make her target. It, however, remains ILS ball as the Raiders tried to clear it away. Pressing, and pushed away by one of the Raiders. It remains Royal ball. Royals passing in. And knocked out of play by some apparent miscommunication. So the Raiders will be passing it in on their side of the field. Okay, so that pass was knocked aside, and Raiders trying to throw it in again. Continues to be knocked back by the forwards. Of course, the more time they spend with their feet on the ball, the more opportunities they have for attack on goal. We'll see if that happens. And I suppose that may have been an offsides. And so your Royal Lions are free kicking the ball to the penalty box of the Raiders before it was intercepted. Okay, on the Royal Lions side of midfield, we have a back and forth that has led to a Raider attack. The Raiders trying to find one of her teammates on the center and goes out of play. Alright, so the keeper kicking the ball away. Number 1 remaining in her position. Alright, some action in midfield. Gulliver managed to get it across, but apparently not quickly enough. ILS managed to force a turnover. Okay, so some back and forth here in the midfield as the Raiders pass in. And a dangerous strike at the backs, but stopped by the keeper and her supporting defenders. Many compliments to her on that play. But kicked away squarely at the feet of a Gulliver Raider. Thankfully nothing came of it, and it does remain Raider ball. Raiders trying for an attack. She does not have much help, which could mean to, yes, which could in fact lead to the turnover that was secured by a midfielder dropping back. Kudos to her. Alright, trying to drive for a counterattack. She does have a few players open. I believe is number 25. She's going for it. She's looking for her teammate. Trying not to get caught off sides. Ooh, and there's a lot of pressure. Yes, quite a few Raiders have now dropped back, making this a rather desperate offensive. And shot slightly off goal. Okay, so we'll see how the calculus works out on this, ladies and gentlemen. I'd say that was impressive, but you know, it is going back and forth from one dangerous play to another. And whether or not that danger will find the Raiders in the back of the Raiders net or the Royals net remains to be seen, unfortunately. Okay, so a shot on goal blocked by the keeper. She is earning her keep, it appears. And kicked away by defensive back Nicole Nielsen, number 6. Okay, so an offensive led by the Raiders, stolen away by the Royals. It remains, however, on the Royal side of the field, which makes this a rather noteworthy possession. Going all the way to Gulliver's side of the field, but now Gulliver has the ball. Back and forth, the ball shall go. Where it stops, no one knows. Although I am confident that, you know, the back of the Raider net would be a good guess. We maintain hope, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great virtues. Of course, God's grace, wonderful thing it is, but I'm sure that the grace He's given to the skill these ladies are showing will be more than enough to lead to something. Let's see, an ILS attack on the right wing. Doesn't manage to get the ball across, but it will lead to a corner kick. Let's see what your Royal Lions make of this set piece. The clock is ticking away. And I'm sorry for the lack of remarks there. It was a low cross to the front of the goal that was intercepted by one of the Raiders. The ball did find one of the backs near midfield, but was not able to be moved back into play, and unfortunately will now be thrown in instead by a Raider. Trust me, I'm at the edge of my seat, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes I'm just at a loss for words. Ooh, excellent cross. Going for the attack. Blocked by the keeper. You know, the keeper does have a lot of help whenever in these recent offensives. So I will say that any attack led by your Royal Lions needs a bit of luck in addition to skill to make it to the back of the net. Okay, ball thrown in. bit too much physical contact there away from the ball, so it will be a free kick by the Raiders. And it seems like your Royal Lion put a little too much on that kick to not find the player, I imagine the Raider she was trying to pass it to. Okay, so a Raider free kick, squarely blocked by number 13. Okay, so trying for a counter. ILS does come away with the ball. Not many players to help her, unfortunately. I mean, obviously trying to maintain a cautious approach, especially considering that they have the lead. But of course, she has only 2 or so players to help her. Okay, let's see what comes of this. Some dangerous looks, kicked away for a corner. I will say that it's actually that appears to be a rather wise decision by the ILS forward. If you find an opportunity to get a corner kick when you don't quite have the help you need, I dare say that the set piece might bring the help to you. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, yes, there we. No, I'm not quite sure. Yes, excellent. That's a great job by your own ILS Royals. I believe we have number 14 to thank. Great work by that young lady. You know what? I just didn't want to speak over that action. I'm sure it was. I'm sure I didn't have much to lend to that. To that very poignant. To that very poignant set piece. So ILS with the ball. Okay, so the ball is now in midfield. Okay, so the Raiders stealing away the ball in that possession. And now in front of the goal, not much help either. Okay, so a good save by number 22, I believe. That would be Erica Austin. And of course the keeper, who continues to play well, number 1, Ashley Fonseca. She is maintaining distance between the ball and her goal. Okay, so some back and forth in midfield. Okay, some great work by the defender, keeping the ball away from the opponent's feet. And unfortunately some back and forth on the Royal side of the field. Oh, but your Royal Lions managed to push it away with a counter. How about that? And drive up the left wing. Okay, and tossing in on Gulliver's side of the field now. Does not manage to find a teammate, but it is then taken away by a Royal Lion. She finds the ball. It appears our very own number 13, Hannah Gonzalez, even dropped forward for that, but unfortunately could not come away with a shot on goal. Okay, so a pass in by your Royal Lions. She finds one of her teammates. And far left wing, far side of the field. Alright, so here we have some back and forth in front of the Raiders' goal. Could lead to some, can lead to some shots. We'll see what we get. But the pressure seems a little intense. The Raiders certainly don't like being kicked while they're down. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Okay, and the keeper trying to square away the ball, and does find one of her players, but still pressured by your Royal Lions. This is a rather long possession, and thankfully nothing comes of it as it's intercepted. Ooh, but then a stolen ball. Okay, but a good block of that shot, which may have been on goal by your goalkeeper. And great job by the midfield chasing down that ball. Okay, so that ball is sailing across. The ball now sits squarely at the feet of a Royal Lion in the midfield. And she even manages to keep it in play for a while with a pass to one of her teammates, but that unfortunately goes out of play. Okay, we have about 24 minutes remaining in the half, plus stoppage time. We'll have to see what comes of this. We certainly are hoping that a decisive steal could keep the ball on this side of the field. Knocked out of play, and it will be Raider ball. So Raiders gradually moving the ball upfield as it continues to be knocked out of play. Remember, this does not get added to stoppage time, or at least to my knowledge it does not. So you do have to wonder what that's doing to the what this is doing to the pace held by our Royal Lions the past few minutes. Okay, so the ball is now on the line side of the field, and Gulliver now has it in the midfield. Okay, so ILS stealing away the ball. So you can obviously see why. You can obviously see what can happen, how quickly the pace can change here. Now the ball is certainly being held on the Royals side of the midfield, and they're certainly feeling the pressure. One accidental misstep, and the ball can be turned over with several Raiders on the offense. Okay, and tripped up by one of the Raiders, it will be ILS ball, and they will take a free kick on their side of the midfield. Excellent rocket on the back of that foot. Unfortunately, her teammates didn't manage to get the ball moving due to the Raider pressure. And it's now back on the Royal Lions side of the field. So it appears that that desperate defense has led to a corner. And I say desperate, it was her and one of her teammates as well as the keeper that had to keep a lid on that attack. This may be the first corner kick by Gulliver Prep tonight. Excellent block by the keeper. That might have been a shot on goal, but she was right where she needed to be. And some well executed plays by your Royal Lions have allowed the ball to be moved away to closer to midfield and will now be passed in. Okay, so we are going to a water break, which means that we have another opportunity to share with you some of today's sponsors. Don't touch that dial, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, thanks to Thermal Concepts. If it weren't for the wonderful weather, I'd say that we would have needed some of their help, considering the AC was out in the main building today. Oh, and I'm realizing that that's being shared with all of the parents at home. So, no worries. Again, the weather was excellent, and the AC unit is most likely back online. Whether or not that is courtesy of Thermal Concepts, I cannot say, but we appreciate their sponsoring today's game. Okay, so excellent throw-in that unfortunately, or rather fortunately, was battered away by the Royal Lions. So here we have our keeper going for a kick, hopefully clearing this ball of her side of the midfield. Yeah, she's ready to kick it. I don't know if she's stretching or just signaling her teammates, but she's ready to kick. And gets it quite far. Excellent work. and manages to find one of the forwards even. This ball is moving, and it's moving fast. But unfortunately it is stopped by a Gulliver midfielder. One of the Royal Lions backs, thankfully there to kick the ball out of play. We'll see what Gulliver Prep makes out of this. The Raiders with one, I believe with now 2 shots on goal tonight. Okay, and the ball turned over as a result of what may have been an offsides. I believe so, based on the position of the kick. Okay. Remember, she's got a rocket for a foot, so my goodness, she could punt for the football team. We have a nice ball to the midfield. Ooh, but it's stolen away after a few passes by the Raiders. But the backs keeping their cool, kicking it away, and maintaining possession. Okay, so some struggling on ILS's side of midfield, and the Raiders are now who now have possession, have it stolen away. However, that does lead to a ball going out of play, and it will now be thrown in by the Raiders. We'll see what is made of this. Okay, so a bit of an attack by a midfielder dropping forward, I believe, but she's stopped. Okay, so the Raiders squarely in Royals territory, but as they move into our territory, you can obviously imagine that we have a few players on guard, and the ball is knocked out of play and thrown in by the Royals. Doesn't quite meet the feet of her target as it's stolen away by the Raiders. And the ball is now out of play to be thrown in by the Royals. Okay, looking for teammate number 5. Does not manage to reach her boot. And now the Raiders looking for an opportunity as they take the attack, but instead it is stolen by a midfielder dropping back. And now there's an opportunity for a counter as the ball is driven upfield on the right side. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. Okay, number 5. That's Anya Asher. But unfortunately the ball is kicked out of play, and it will now be Royals ball. So at least there's some positive to balance that out. And the ball thrown into a dangerous position. There are Raider defenders, but they seem to be scrambling, and the Royals maintain possession. Nearly in front of the goal. Let's see, there's a pass to her teammate, who she does not manage to find as the ball is led out of play and will lead to a keeper kick. Yes, unfortunately, passes around the outer boundaries can lead to a turnover just by the fact that the defenders will put their body in the way of the ball. As long as they make a show of the fact that they're trying to go for it. Okay, so your Royal Lions back with the ball. again, maintaining possession in in a helpful side of the field. Let's see if they can make the most of it. Some back and forth. Raiders, though they have the ball, they are being challenged by the midfield of the Royal Lions. Ooh, but they make a slide pass in that was caught under the radar. It seems that the backs might have it. They do. Yeah, trying to prevent a corner kick. Not that, of course, would not be ideal. Okay, so the ball is passed in. And stolen away by the Royals, who lead the charge. They charge away, stampeding down the green. Trying to find a cross. She might get it. That's a header. And it's in, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent work. Across to number 16, I believe. Let's take a closer look. Yes, number 16. Many thanks to Miss Elisa Chong. Great work, a junior, finding her way from the backfield all the way to the goal. Well, she might be playing midfield today, but still, excellent work. And of course, she owes her teammate for the well-placed cross as well. Okay, so let's see where this goes. It's almost immediately at the foot of an ILS forward. The Royal Lions smell blood, ladies and gentlemen. They smell blood. Okay, pressing the attack. And stripped away by the keeper. Okay. Well-placed head by a Royal Lion midfielder means that this ball... Ooh, some roughhousing there. I imagine she didn't appreciate the physicality of the center back by the Raiders. I wouldn't either. Ended up running into the goalkeeper instead. Raiders pressing for a counterattack, but I think the backs have expressed their skill, as well as the goalkeeper, I will say. The backs and the goalkeeper have certainly made a point of showing their skill today, and I don't think that, while we may hold our breath, I don't think that was the opportunity that would lead to their goal. Okay, and the keeper will kick it away. So let's take a look at if that was perhaps the first goal of the season for some of our young players. Okay, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. So that may have been number 14's first goal for the season. So many congratulations are in order for her. Again, a back finding her way. I'm sorry, not number 14. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you, ladies and gentlemen, on that. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen. So tossing it in are your Royal Lions on their side of the midfield. Some excellent work by ILS, but the physical play of a Raider makes the ball go out of play. Ooh, expertly stealing the ball away, manages to knock it off the Raiders, and now it's ILS ball. Ooh, doesn't meet the feet of her target. Okay, so appears there will be a free kick as the Royal Lions may have incurred a foul. Not the most dangerous place for a free kick, but obviously not ideal either. And while the shot is on goal, it's well caught by the keeper, Miss Fonseca. Okay, ILS with the ball again on the Raider side of the midfield, on the Raider side of the field. Continual play on the Raider side of the pitch could lead to another goal if they're not careful. And obviously, the Royal Lions, well, we aren't worried about careful, but knocked out of play. Put a little too much on that pass, perhaps, or maybe her teammate didn't quite read it. And we've got about 9 minutes remaining in this half, ladies and gentlemen. The goal differential for tonight may be 3 points. It will certainly be a decisive victory if that remains the case. And some physical play appears to have led to a foul. And your Royal Lions will be put back on defense. Kicked away with a bit of pace on it too. Have no fear, the Royals are here. They have the midfielders have managed to steal away the ball. They also maintained possession for a short while there, but turned over again by the Raiders to the Raiders. You know, some back and forth here and there in the midfield is to be expected. Some attempts at shots do not seem to find their target thanks to ILS defenders. And hopefully a steal that will relieve some of the pressure, maybe even lead to a counter is in store. Ooh, some physical play. Some physical play as the ball goes out of bounds means that the Raiders will get to throw it in. That's unfortunate for the Royal Lion number 13, I believe. I know she wanted to bring that ball towards a shot on goal, either for her or one of her teammates. Okay, so okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Royal Lions again keeping the ball on the opponent's side of the field. Ooh, showing some of her flexibility, it appears, is number 13. Obviously, you don't want your hindquarters on the grass. You'd prefer to keep your feet there. Ooh, stolen away right in front of the goal. Well, back and forth, back and forth. Sorry. So the Raiders having the ball now, though on their side of the field, they look to counter. I don't think they'll be catching the Royal Lions unawares, but they do seem to be pressing considering their current deficit. They might be bleeding, but they are hungry. Alright, so there are quite a few Raiders upfield, but thankfully the keeper securing the ball and putting a stop to this drive. Okay, the rocket boot, Miss Fonseca, getting it to one of her teammates, it appears, in midfield, and now another drive. Okay, with some pace, there's a kick on goal, but knocked out of play by the keeper, leading to a corner kick. Okay, as you just saw on our scoreboard, we have about 2 minutes plus stoppage time. We'll see what comes of it. Okay, so taking the corner, finding a teammate, another cross, but this time does not find one of her own. Ooh, misses a high ball, so the Raiders, while trying to press, have knocked it out of play, and it will be back in the hands of a Royal Lion. Royal Lions throwing it in, but headed and intercepted by one of the Raiders. Again, certainly hungry to lessen this deficit, but of course, it appears this game is a foregone conclusion. They certainly aren't playing like it's a foregone conclusion, though, I will say that. Knocked out of play by a Royal Lion. Good decision. Or at least I'd say. Almost immediately thrown back in, but instead knocked out of play even further from the goal. So it appears some of our friends in the studio seem to forget what stoppage time is. Oh, never mind. They'd be correct. There is no stoppage time this half, and that's a wrap on this game. So 3-0, ladies and gentlemen, your Royal Lions have taken away the victory from Gulliver Prep. Big shout out to the scorers for today's game. They have certainly taken us to even higher places in the infamy of Miami soccer. So this is Mr. Peter Jude from the LTV studio. I want to thank all our camera operators, and we're going to wrap it up for the day. And a big thank you to Mr. Mendes. Bye-bye.